Hey everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, recovering hobo. I wiped the lens on my phone. It's all greasy from I produce so much grease and from my skin, and so it's like the streak on the lens is causing the light to streak. Anyways, cool cinematic look. Like anybody, cinematographers who want like cool light streaks and lens flares on your films, just get some of my skin oil and wipe it on the lens. Uh, First of all, I just saw Logan Lucky a few minutes ago. That was so much fun. Oh my goodness, that was so cool. Steven Soderbergh directed and edited and shot, I believe. Anyways, ton of fun, great cast, beautiful. Very felt like a '70s film, and then it's infused with all this, the sort of hillbilly stuff. And anyways, it was super fun. Really great time. I wanted to watch something light in a way. I wouldn't have minded watch something dark, but anyways. Uh, So this has been day one on my meal plan, and I basically already quit the meal plan. Now here's what I mean. I quit it before I even started, basically, but I did something else on top of that. So basically Mike O'Hearn, he's like a championship bodybuilder and like fitness expert. He offers like nutrition meal planning, $50 a month, and some basic workout guides. So I'm like, cool, I'll do that. I was wearing myself out so badly. Like I'm working out like a maniac, riding my bike 30 miles just Monday through Friday, and then often on Saturday and maybe even Sunday too, I'd ride another 20 miles or so. It was just wearing my body down. I felt like this is like burning all the gas in me, and I couldn't eat enough to recover, and I'm still not as thin as I want to be. Anyways, I gave my information, my height, weight, all that stuff, and within a day, I got back a meal plan, and I have an app on my phone where it's I don't know what the point of the app is, but people love everything on apps. I'm like, yeah, I can see everything on my computer. But so I saw that the meal plan. I was like, first, do I want to get this stuff? Because I see meals like first meal of the day, a bagel. I'm like, wrong. I eat oatmeal for breakfast, not bagels. Bagel with eggs and bacon and whatever else. I'm like, do I really want to cook eggs in the morning? Do I want to spend money on like olive oil and get bacon and all that? I'm like, and I looked at the next meal, and the next meal, it's like for your snack, okay, a little easier to do. It's like rice, whatever, those rice cakes and hummus. Third meal, like lunch, something a little more extravagant again. So I'm like, oh, so I'd have to cook another meal too. I'm like, hell no, hell no. I'm throwing all this out. I'm completely throwing all this away, and I'm redesigning it all because what I noticed is okay, on each meal and for the day's totals, it gives you the breakdown of nutrients for everything: proteins, carbohydrates, fats, total calories. I'm like, okay, forget the food. This is just stuff supposed to be tasty. I don't have the time or, and don't want to spend the money, and I don't even feel comfortable spending a lot of time in my kitchen. I have four roommates. So, like, I don't want to dominate the kitchen, and I pushed my schedule like as far as it will go. Anyways, I get up at 3:45 again. I'm going to be working out more with this with workout plan from Mike O'Hearn, and then I'm taking writing classes. And I did a bunch of writing today. Writing every single day. So what I did is I took those amounts. I wrote everything down for the different meals throughout the week, and the protein totals. No, all the meals for one day, and I looked at them for all the first week. I'm like, they're all basically the same, just slightly different. Just to give you variety, like slightly there was a few grams more protein one breakfast, a few less, whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna rework all these meals and just use the numbers to rework into that everything that I eat that I don't need to cook, and that I can buy at the same grocery stores, and I am not putting anything in a skillet. I'm not putting anything in my that thing which I have not used in like a year and a half or over a year. I used it when I was homeless, but the what is that called? Air cooker? I forget. I don't even know. But it's good. I'll keep it for someday if I ever want it. I probably won't ever want to cook. But I either buy stuff I can eat cold, microwaved. Well, those are the only two options, I guess, or room temperature. So I worked out, okay, breakfast, I like oatmeal, walnuts, protein powder and stuff. I worked out all the numbers and I created not an Excel spreadsheet because I don't use Microsoft Office Suite. I used WPS Writer. It's basically the same functionality, same thing, except it's free, really cool. So I plugged in all the numbers. I put breakfast, snack, and lunch and dinner because I broke it up into 4 meals. You can pick more meals, but again, I don't have time to eat like 7 meals a day. I'm working during the day, and I don't really have anywhere to put it and all that stuff. So uh, just 4 meals. So basically 3 meals and a snack. And I would just play around. Like I would either look up everything I have in the kitchen now and look up the grams per serving, and then the protein and carbohydrates and total fat, and then I would just change it. So say if one serving was not what I wanted in a meal, then I would like, okay, how much if I got to bring it up from 40 grams to 45 grams or something, see how much that'll do. Figure out the difference, whatever, 45 divided by 40, multiply that by the new protein number, the new carbs number, whatever, for each one. Sometimes I'd have to jump around with the numbers more, like, oh, this is way low. And some things I realize, oh, I'm way high on some things, but like fat, so I got rid of the ghee butter. I have it there. Maybe I'll use it once a month or something, but tons of fat in that and calories. I didn't realize that. So Eric Berg gives advice on ghee butter. I don't know what he's talking about with, oh yeah, just put 2 teaspoons full in your coffee. Yeah, that's like 350 calories or something. But anyways, I looked that up, and whatever I didn't have on a container, like certain sardines, the chicken of the sea, they don't say on the container, so I looked it up on their website, and I got all that. And so basically, what I figured out is for each meal to get almost the exact same numbers, including calories, for proteins, carbohydrates, fats, for each meal that Mike O'Hearn's meal plan has. So I can still eat oatmeal, which is easy to make. I can microwave it in 3 minutes, add in walnuts, but now I know exactly how much walnuts to add. And I got a food scale. So anything I'm not sure of, I put on the scale. And I figured out like how many grams of blueberries to get enough carbohydrates as well. I found out to get the protein that Mike O'Hearn says I need for my activity and body size and stuff, I need to add basically like 2 to 3 times as much protein as I'm taking now. So 2 scoops of protein powder in the morning instead of one to my oatmeal. I'm like, damn, I thought that would have been a lot before, but now I realize, oh, I'm actually trying to follow a blueprint, learn a system, and we'll see how it goes for the next month or so. Same thing, a snack. I realized, oh, 2 slices of whole wheat bread and 1 spoonful of peanut butter, no more, and no jelly or anything. Or I would use the citron, like the Korean tea, where you can scoop it up like the honey ginger tea. I'm like, don't need that. Too many carbs. So, but the honey ginger tea, 1 spoonful, can go in my dinner to get the carbs up high enough because it's kind of hard to add everything else that I, want in my dinner, which is basically salmon or those prepackaged meals that are healthy, but they're very low in numbers, like 20 grams of protein. And Mike O'Hearn's meal plan says I need like 60. I'm like, okay, so I can either do that and add a protein shake and some salmon or not salmon, or yeah, salmon or what is it? The other fish I just said, sardines. Um, or I can, whatever combine. So I put some extra options for if I choose to swap out something, know, like what my total goals are, and then I have the food scale, and I can put it on there if I'm not sure. And it got really like overwhelming for me today. I got so scared thinking like, oh my goodness, what if I'm not good at this? What if I don't lose weight? What if Mike O'Hearn's team judges me as stupid and lazy or something because I can't get it? I literally have like formulas, the most basic formulas, like addition, like sum for a column of cells, because I would add up like, and say I have like 4 different ingredients for my meal. I would have a cell to add up the sum of all of them to make sure is the total protein the same as what Mike O'Hearn's meal plan says I should be having. And it's almost it. I've always had it within like just a handful of grams. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty sure even if I followed his meal plan exactly, I wouldn't be getting exactly the same amount of grams because even with eggs, every egg is slightly different and so on. Every slice of bread is not exactly the same, but anyway, sweet potatoes too. I figured out, I looked up multiple or 2 different websites that say, the nutrition ratios of that, and I and I tested out changing them to see, do they both change by the same ratio, or does one of them seem way off? They're both very similar. So I'm like, oh, good. So it doesn't matter. It's not like one website's giving me potentially really bad information and I wouldn't know which one it is. So, anyways, that said, I'm not trying to be a fitness freak or anything. I just want this thing worked into my life. It sounds kind of scary to me to make it like my whole life's around it. No, it's just something to have, so I'm not doing all this guesswork and feeling totally gassed and exhausted and just not even hungry. Just my body fatigued to the point like I feel like a pencil about to break because I'm so brittle. So, anyways, so and then I measured my arm. I have like a cloth tape measure, and it says measure arms and stuff and legs and everything. So I did all that, my chest, so I can track that too. Oh, and I had to get a scale. Here's the other crazy thing: I had to get a scale. I got one from CVS. When I started the meal plan, when I submitted my info, I guessed how much I weighed. I said 185 pounds because I thought, oh, I must be pretty big. I'm gaining weight. I got on the scale. I'm like, this can't be right. Is it? The scale's off. I'm like, no, that makes sense that I guessed wrong. I'm 165 pounds. So I'm like, and I was so freaking embarrassed because I had to email the team, the Mike O'Hearn's team again, be like, I didn't have a scale before, but um, I know I'm a 37-year-old man, but now like I got a scale and realized I weigh 20 pounds less. So can you dial back the nutrition on everything? So I already did my informal system of the difference in weight between 165 185. It's like 1.1212121, and I kind of divided everything down by that to try and get something I thought would work for me. So like all the numbers basically down, so I know how to measure how much food I need, and it's only down like just a few grams, a few calories in each category, but it makes a difference. So hopefully that helps me out. And yeah, just been working on a lot of my screenwriting. So yes, I did make a dramatic title. I quit my meal plan, but I'm doing what I think is a better meal plan because it also just works in my life. And I'm not trying to cook a bunch. The chicken I get, it's all pre-cooked pulled chicken from Ralph's. Salmon, it's all canned salmon. And it's just great knowing, okay, this is like a controlled experiment. I can see week to week how I do. If I don't progress, then obviously I have to change things and I'll let their team know. And if I do progress, great. Like, let them know, keep going, because as I go along, they're going to keep adjusting it too, depending on maybe I'll need more calories if I'm, trying to get bigger. But right now I'm trying to just lose weight. Anyways, got my Bob and Brad, oh crap, exercise bands. I got these because I read that they have like nylon inside or something. These do not feel like they have anything inside, but so they won't snap as easily as all the other exercise bands I've ever gotten. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. It just got weirded out thinking this is a whole new thing. I'm not good at it. What if it's embarrassing? What if I'm a total failure and I completely screw up my health with this? And I realized, oh, that's probably all good because this means I'm trying something I'm not good at yet. So I need to get into it to really practice it. This is how I felt with anything, with screenwriting. Definitely, I felt that. I felt like, how will I ever learn screenwriting? With my job, I was like, the first week, I was like, how will I ever learn all this stuff? And after a while, I'm sure I won't even need the food scale. I'll just be able to look and be able to tell how much anything is. Once in a while, some things I can use a measuring cup for, but that's not always accurate for the grams, the weight. But what I tested out and tried is steel cut oats. It is accurate. What is it, like a quarter cup I use is like 44 grams, pretty much exactly. But it can vary even just a little bit. So I'm gonna practice using the scale. Anyways, I'm gonna have to buy some more food too, like get more canned salmon stuff, but not really that a lot more. It's just like an initial investment in the food scale, the cooking scale. I got more discount protein powder from CVS because I knew they had it $10 off. So I'm like, oh, I'm going back today and getting more because now I know I'm going to be using a lot of this stuff because I don't just want to eat huge meals. I'm like, just get it done, get the protein powder in me, stuff it down me. Anyways, I'm going to sleep. So this is my last week of my screenwriting class, but that's not the end of my screenwriting classes. It's going to be like in another 3 weeks, I start the next one, or 2 weeks. So mainly just focusing on writing, but this is kind of good to like let me focus on the writing and just get this meal stuff out of the way. I'm not a fitness freak. I'm not a fanatic. Um, Kind of scares me to like do stuff that feels like it changes my identity, but I realize anything new does that. Even when I worked at a warehouse, it kind of scared me, like, oh, what if I'm like not the screen me? It's no big deal. So old enough now to have done that a few times, I'm like, oh, I'm good, it's no big deal. But yeah, so I quit the meal plan, but replaced it with, I think, a better meal plan. uh, so we'll see. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and watch for my movies whenever they come out, when I'm writing my screenplays. Bye.